Eminence. Go throw them knees up in the air.
9, 8, 7. We have a go for main engine start. 4, 3, 2, 1, and liftoff.
It's the SFL nights it's the SFL nights with AJ Striker, with AJ Striker. It's the SFL nights it's the SFL nights with AJ Striker, with AJ Striker. Ashley Jackson about the action. SFL news, come and join with interaction. Whatever happens, happens. Yeah, you will leave with satisfaction. Yeah, tell your team and tell your captain. Come and tune in, new episodes weekly. You can tune in from your room in afternoons, and when the moon hits, it's unique. It's the SFL nights it's the SFL nights with AJ Striker, with AJ Striker.
What's up, SFL Nation? And welcome back to SFL Nights with AJ Striker. Thank you so much for joining me today or tonight or whenever you decided to hit that play button or turn on that radio dial. I really appreciate it, y'all. And I want to say thank you so much for joining me tonight on this special occasion. First off, this is not my normal night. Normally I do this on Thursdays, but I decided to do this on Tuesday because this is fresh off the presses with the expansion team hopefuls that are trying out to get the full one of 4 expansion teams that will be coming available. Owners will be voting on probably within the next 3 weeks or so. So exciting times. So I have a few individuals that came to me tonight and wanted to give the community an overview of what their team would look like if they were selected. So before I go into that, I want to say a special shout out to all the teams that won this week. Fantastic performances from everybody. Especially shout out to DC for winning over Baltimore. That was no easy task. I'm sure you all had the recipe to get that done. So shout out and kudos to you. But unfortunately for Arizona, we will have to face an angry Baltimore. So dang, DC, couldn't cut us a break, huh? But either way, great games last week. But expansion bid teams. So I do have a few of our fellow community members that are applying for expansion teams, and they are Mr. Adam Chance and Kristian Alexio for the Canton Classics. I have Mr. Kye Ethan with the Seattle Nemesis. I have Mr. Axel Raven and Mr. J.R.Lawless with the Minnesota Legends. And finally, I have Chad Roland and Adam, with Adam's Wiseman, where Adam was not able to make the show. But I do have Chad Roland representing the Indianapolis Ramblers. So this is going to be a great show. We're going to hear a little bit from each team. They're going to try to state their case as to why they should have one and see where this goes. So everyone just sit back, relax, and enjoy. All right, everybody, and welcome back to Expansion Hopefuls. Tonight's guests are 2 of my favorite people. They are funny. I mean, I love these 2. I have Mr. Adam Chance and Mr. Kristian Alexio with me.
Nailed it.
The first time I was.
It's confusing. I get it.
How y'all been doing?
Doing great.
Yeah,
staying busy.
I'm the same way as Adam is. I'm feeling excited and thankful for you to have us on again. I know we weren't on so long ago, but we're back.
We were
And
too excited to wait. We had to come right back on.
Hey,
That's what it was.
And I greatly appreciate that. And this time we have some interesting news that has developed since our last podcast together.
Indeed. And it wasn't so much that it has developed since. It was in development when we had talked that first time. It was just unbeknownst to the league and to everyone else. But behind the scenes, Adam and I were constructing this thing and getting everything to a place where we can announce it formally. And here we are. So thank you for the platform to be able to do so.
You are very, very welcome. Anytime when we come to this point in our league where it's expansion time, and we have many people that want to acquire their own team, you have to go up in front of the owners and be voted in to receive your team. And it's based on certain criteria. Of course, I'm not an owner, but I talk to everybody in the league, so I kind of have a gist of what each one are looking for, because everyone is different.
Right.
First, introduce us to your expansion bid, if you don't mind.
Absolutely. Adam, you want to take that?
Well, I'll start off at least. We are bringing the Canton Classics to the table here with our expansion bid. We put a lot of time and love into this team too, but we have some ties with Canton that we thought might be great opportunities, not just for the team, but for the league and the other owners. And that was on top of us being really excited about being a part of the SFL in general and just loving our time here and the people here. We wanted to use those connections and those platforms to hopefully further the league and the other owners around it.
Yeah, absolutely. Everything that he said, I am not from Ohio, and neither is Adam. This is something that was created specifically with the business of the SFL in mind, and some of the connections and relationships that we've been able to build recently. And it's the perfect time now for it. So moving a team to Canton, I think, makes perfect sense. And especially when you think about the lineage and the history of Canton and football. The town does not get enough credit, but it has been so instrumental in the professional football world that as you know it today, it would not be this way had those 10 teams not gathered in Canton, Ohio 102 years ago. To turn this thing into what it is. And we see the similarities between that and the SFL. Instead, it's not these 10 teams, it's these 24 teams now, but it's been in a period of growth, and we're going into another period of growth. We wanted to build this to make sure that this thing grows, A, correctly, B, exponentially. And see that it brings absolute value to not just one team, two teams, our team, your team, every team. And that's what we're after with the Canton Classics.
Yeah, and we, on top of building and growing the league, we also take great value in not compromising what's already here, because, we're not trying to change what the league's already done so far, because that's what's made it great. That's what drew us in the first place. So our goal is to just kind of add some extra icing on the cake.
Yeah, magnify what's already here. I mean, nobody can doubt that Cam and everybody in the front office has done such a tremendous job, evidenced by how many people are in the league at any given point in time. You can jump on the Discord and somebody's chatting. Why? Because there's just so many people in the league that there is no point in time where nobody's out there, and that speaks to why this league is as good as it is. And we're thankful for that, and we just want to amplify that a bit.
And that's wonderful, because I know that is one of the things that owners will look for, is what value will you bring to the league. And another question that I have is, because you all are rookies, you're brand new. Typically, rookies, I've seen very few, if any, be awarded a team. Reason being is because it is uncertain how long your future will be with the SFL. My question to you both is, how can you assure the owners that you all will be around for the long haul? Because we have had owners in the past acquire teams. Some of the owners did have, significant stature, in society, and they pretty much abandoned the team. Whether they forgot about it, maybe something happened, but the team folded. So that's one thing that I do know that is a concern.
Yeah, and a legitimate concern. I totally understand where those people are coming from, and from what we've learned, there's obviously been some history there with certain people that have, made promises and been lacking. But I Kristian and I both, I think one of the reasons that kind of drew us together is our passion for things. And when I personally get into something, I go all in, and that's kind of the one thing that I can point to, and I think for both of us, is the track record of our personal lives and careers. I wouldn't be where I am today if I didn't give things that I cared about my all. And I've been fortunate too. There's a lot of being a professional in any career. You have to have a little bit of luck too, and I've been fortunate in that department. But I took every opportunity I could, and a lot of it was just perseverance. Just staying there and sticking with it. And I'm that way with not just my career, but my hobbies too. Everything in between. If I care about something, I'm going to stick around. And I know that because of the false promises of those before us, that some people might still be skeptical, but I just give us the chance to prove it, and we will. Kristian and I are both the kind of people that we've heard those concerns, but we're still here doing this because we believe in it and we're excited about it.
Yeah. I think you're absolutely right, Adam. When, we were listening to some of the owners that we've spoken to and some of the people in charge talk about some of those sore spots and those things that have happened in the past that may have some people gun shy to take this vote. We had two choices to make, right? You're at a fork in the road at this point. The right part of the fork would be to just say, you know what, we're rookies. They're probably not going to give it to us. Let's just cut our losses right now, walk away, and continue to just be players, and do that. Or we could have gone left, which is what we are doing, which is staying the course and moving forward. Why is that? It's because we know what we're bringing. And I was not in the league when those things happened. It is very, very unfortunate, and I'm sorry that everybody had to deal with that. If you guys didn't get an apology from those people who committed those offenses, I'm sorry to hear that as well. But I assure you that we are not them. And if there's a doubt in your mind, I don't think you have to look much further than the ESTV deal that was announced earlier in the week. If you took a look at the league alerts, and thank you, Cam, for tagging me in that and giving me the credit for what that was, because that is a personal relationship that I have with them through World Pro Racing and what I do on that side with that stuff. I would not dream of bringing this into that if I didn't actually believe in it. I would not put myself on the line if I did not intend to be here for a significant amount of time. This isn't an overnight thing. And when I am able to announce, when I do announce here, likely on this show with you guys, when I announce what we have to announce, the biggest piece of what the Canton Classics bid is, I think you will very much see that there is no way on God's green earth would this man put himself at risk in this position if he were to not be as serious as he says he is. We're not here to bring you guys strife. We're not here to bring you guys stress. We are here, like we said, to amplify. And that's plain and simple. No hidden agenda. No ulterior motives, no games, no BS, no foolishness, none of that.
Yeah.
We're here to do business. We're here to bring business.
And I think I can speak for both of us when I say that we are happy to talk to anybody. If they're still listening to this and they have those concerns, then come talk to us. We have an open door thing where we whatever it takes to kind of assure people that we're not those guys. We're happy to try and do it. If I had been around this thing in 2013, if I had heard about this thing then, I would have been a part of it then and still today. But just come talk to us if you're concerned about that. Please, we encourage it.
Yeah. And, I think that's good for you to come on shows like these. Go on different shows and just get your message out there, get your reasoning behind it. Because I want to ask you both, what is your philosophy? What will your team philosophy entail? Is there a certain mascot that you're going to use? Just little nuances like that, if you can share that with us, just so we can kind of get an idea about what.
Absolutely.
Because I do have something I want to say to that, but I kind of want to get this out the way first.
Well, I mean, I think the most important thing, and we're going to be touching on this a lot in our bid announcements and stuff, that we just want to have fun with the people that are there, because that's really a large part of what makes this thing successful. It's just people enjoying their time, not just with the games, but with each other. We want to build an inclusive locker room with people from all different walks of life and backgrounds, and just there to have fun. There's so many people in my life, in my career, that I end up becoming lifelong friends with, that I don't think it would have ever happened if we weren't put together in certain circumstances. You never know who you might click with, and that's important to us, and just having a good time and putting the right people in the right places and having fun with it. And we do have a mascot, which we're very proud of, I will say. But Kristian, maybe you can talk a little bit about that, as well as the culture too, if you want.
So our mascot is a bulldog, and his name is McKinley, or Mac for short. He is a bulldog because that was the original team that was in Canton back in 1920, the Canton Bulldogs. We wanted to bring that lineage back into the modern day. And he's adorable. He's fierce. He's hungry. He's great. He's everything you want a mascot and a bulldog to be. And we do look forward to introducing him to everyone. And Mac McKinley, President William McKinley was the 25th president of the U.S., and he was a Canton, Ohio native. So it all just tied in together with the brand and everything that we're doing here. So, and as far as the culture in our locker room, it is going to be everything that Adam just said, but also with a little bit of a twist, because we've got, and maybe you were going to get to this, Ashley, but the biggest thing about our team is that I have developed a relationship, and therefore we have developed a relationship with the Pro Football Hall of Fame in Canton, Ohio. And through that relationship and that development, we have been able to not only secure some time and some space for the SFL at the Hall of Fame. I've been talking to them about moving the Hall of Fame ceremonies that we have here in the SFL over to the real Pro Football Hall of Fame, and they want to do that. They are very much open to do that, which again also lends itself to my last point. I would not put myself in this position with these people because it affects my personal life. These are people that I have business with outside of what we're doing here with the SFL, and I wouldn't jeopardize that with this if I didn't think we were going to be here for a very long time. But also through that relationship, they will also be lending us a Hall of Famer, a Pro Football Hall of Famer, to join this team in the ownership box. And with that person is obviously going to come a set of standards, of that professionalism, because that's what they expect. That's what this person had all throughout their playing career. And we want to kind of give that same experience as well. You know, we came here to live our dreams of being professional football players. Well, it's time.
Exactly. And, you know, there you go. That's the proof of what I was saying and what the league's all about. You've got people from every walk of life coming to this league, including former professional football players and people that, you know, all across America that do all these different things and different backgrounds. You know, like there's already examples of a father and a daughter, this, you know, family, people, brothers, sisters in the league now. But we just want to add to that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I mean, that is, first of all, that's some mind-blowing news. You know? A lot of times, you know, we try to emulate, you know, the setting for, with the podium and everything, make it feel real, you know, with the draft and things like that. So to be able to possibly have the Hall of Fame at the Hall of Fame, you know what I mean? It's that is a dream, I think, that comes true. And it's two things I kind of want to bring to light. Now, on the one hand, you have the owners. You have people that have been in the league for a long time, been turned down for teams 2-3 times in a row for whatever reason, you know. There is that sense of that brothership, that kinship, that, hey, I know I've seen you go through this, you know, I've seen you coach, I've seen you take teams to championships, I've seen you do all of this, you know. And that's fine because they're rooted into the SFL. But then you have to look at it from the perspective of Cam is the reason why the SFL exists.
Yeah.
He doesn't, as far as I know, he's taken off working to dedicate his craft to this full time. So if there's an opportunity, there's 4 different teams, right? 3 of which we can give it to the people that's been here, in my opinion. It's been here, showed tenure, all of that. But if it is a situation to where 1 or 2 people haven't been in there, but they bring so much value to the league, I think that should be considered, whether they've coached or not, whether they've been in the league that amount of time or not, you know. It's not like it's just a regular thing. And I'm not just saying, hey, let's just bend the rules for these guys. But then at the same time, you have so much more, you have so much to offer. Not just for the league, but for Cam and even seeing his visions down the line. So I think all of that has to be taken into consideration when making these decisions.
Yeah, and thank you for saying that, Ashley. Because we want to prove in time that we are going to be those guys too. We're going to eventually be those guys, you know, whether we have the team now or not. But we are happy to be in this thing for the long haul, and not just for the sake of opportunities provided to the other owners, but for Cam too, because we want to have Cam's back because he's built such a wonderful thing here, and we just want to give it as much foundation as we can outside of what it's already got.
Awesome.
Right. Yeah, I couldn't agree more, and I do understand that, you know, you guys are probably used to some of the other people that you know better, a couple of names that are more familiar to you. And, you know, like you said, Ashley, some people they've lived through other periods of expansion and maybe didn't get those bids, you know, and their time is now, right? And I completely get that. I want their time to be now as well. You know, I want everybody to hear me correctly. I want those people to have their time as well. Yeah. But what is a benefit is that there are 4 votes. 4 teams will be voted in, right? If 3 votes want to be spent on tenure and that stuff, you know, great. But I think what we bring as to the business and to Cam, who has worked so tirelessly at this, you know, he deserves it, really, you know, and the rest of the owners deserve it. And that's got to be considered. I completely agree with you that needs to be considered, because while we're not sore losers, should we not get the bid, it's not like we're gonna throw a hissy fit and leave the league. I'm not, they took my ball, I'm not gonna play anymore, right? We're not those guys. If we don't get the bid, we will very much be here as players, for sure. But what I will say is this: the Pro Football Hall of Fame are not the most patient group of people I've ever met, right? So if this bid were not to come to fruition this round with them, I would not be able to reapproach them with bringing the SFL to the Hall of Fame. That's just not something I would be comfortable doing, because, like I said, I'm dealing with them with some other things in my personal professional life.
Yeah, it'd probably be a little bit weird.
Relationship.
Yeah, it'd probably be a little weird to be like, I know that didn't work out before. Let's try it again.
Right? Yeah. I wouldn't be able to do that, because that's really going to throw a monkey wrench into the other things that I have planned. So it kind of creates a situation to where the timing is now. This is the perfect time, and I do think that we joined the league at a fortuitous time, and it was for a reason that it was now. Adam joined like the day before I did. I joined the day after. We just happened to connect. It's all lining up too coincidentally, right?
It was very serendipitous for sure. Yeah.
And then expansion comes up right after that. It's like, wait a minute, And then this thing with the Pro Football Hall of Fame, falls kind of into my lap, and it's just like, this is way too much is aligning here, man, for this not to be something. So that's all I want to say, is that I completely get the tenure, completely do that. Please do that. I want those guys to succeed
for sure.
However, our bid moves the chains with the evolution of the league, with the evolution of Cam, with the evolution of business. So I want to do that. The ESTV thing, I think, is going to be a smash. That's great, but it is by far not the only thing that we can add as far as broadcasting goes. It's by far not the only thing. It was the lowest hanging fruit, I guess, on that tree, just because of what we do with World Pro Racing. But there's more. There's more where that came from. We just got to get the bid, and we can do it. The league's hashtag is make an impact, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was telling Adam before we got on, if anybody listens to Jordan Peterson, he talks a lot about people in their corporations who get placed in the wrong place for them to make their true impact, right? A job has an opening in the finance department, and they fill that job, and the boss is happy with that, right? I filled my finance position, and the guy who filled the position is happy with it because he gets a paycheck, right? Neither one of them, though, is concerned about where his real talents, his treasures, his time could better be used, right? He could be the master of logistics if he wanted to be, but he's here in finance. He's in the wrong place. And if the league's hashtag is make an impact, I'm telling you right now, the biggest place that Adam Chance and I can make an impact is in that owner's box. Yeah. Do not put us in the wrong position.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And I just want to stress that if you want to get to know us better, just come send us a message. Try and connect with us to have a chat on the phone, whatever you want to do, whatever you feel comfortable with. We're more than happy to open up that door and chat and get to know everybody that is questioning who we are, a little bit.
Yeah. We're not here to hurt anybody either, man. We truly are here to help. We are genuinely here to help. And I get that we don't have the time in the league, I guess, to for you to want to believe us, but I think the ESTV deal was a good start. To people believing us. We're
here for the long haul. We're in it, man.
Now, with the EST, how did that even come about? Like, what was the conversation? And how difficult is it to have these conversations with people that you work so closely with about an esports league? Like, how do you explain that to someone that wants to invest? How do you do that?
You know what? You know what's interesting is that right before my conversation with the people at the Hall of Fame, they had just had a conversation with Robert Kraft and what he's doing with buying up a lot of the esports entities. You know, everybody knows him for being the owner of the New England Patriots, but I will say that explaining the SFL to someone just out of the blue, it's difficult for a lot of people to comprehend and to really understand what's going on. You know, it's just a tough thing to get. I think that there's a bit of it's kind of a singular dimension when we look at esports and gaming, and we kind of only think of it one way. But what the SFL is multidimensional. You know, and explaining that to some people, it's just hard to get their heads around it. One thing I will say is that I remember a few years back when I joined iRacing. The reason iRacing has been such a huge platform, it's not because it's the best commercially used simulator. I think personally, just from a realism standpoint, things like R Factor 2 may be better for realistic sim racing. But the reason iRacing is as big as it is because they brand it. They know how to brand, you know, and Dale Earnhardt Jr. wouldn't shut up about it, you know, for like a good 2 years, you know, and that was the difference, was that they had real race car drivers talking about iRacing. They had real race car drivers advocating for iRacing. And what that did was it lended some legitimacy to it. It lended, you know, some credibility to it. But more importantly than any of that, it opened the ears and it opened the mind. Something that was previously seen as one-dimensional. You get a guy like Dale Earnhardt Jr. to talk about it, they're now open to hearing, well, what's the second dimension of that? And what's the third dimension? And what's the fourth dimension? We kind of want to take that model and bring it over here. I've tried to explain the SFL to some people. And it's not been easy, you know. I think it's something that unless you're in the league, you won't truly get what the experience is and why it's important and why it needs to be shared. You're not going to get it. But having that advocacy is going to do wonders, I believe, for the position of the league when we do go to explain things. Some people still may take a little while to understand it, but at least they will be listening. That's what we want. We just want the open ears.
Yeah, and to that point, for the people that would be interested in this league that maybe haven't heard about it yet, it's hard to explain to anyone, but that threshold is not far away. I've found with my friends that I know that would be interested in the SFL. I was just talking about it to a friend today, and he at first was like, it took him a second to wrap his head around it, but the threshold wasn't too far away. Once I kind of explained what it was about, he was all in, and I think he's going to be joining the league here pretty soon. But I think that's a lot of people. There's a lot of people out there that are like that. They would love this, and they just need to see it on an ESTV or something like that. Mm-hmm. And that once you see it in person, or you know, firsthand, I guess is a better way to explain that, then you're in. I think there's a lot of those people.
It is. You know, it's funny because I joined the SFL for season 12. And I became the first female quarterback of the league.
Nice. And
it was an amazing feeling because I know in real life, the probability of me actually doing that was minuscule, to be honest with you.
Right.
Ashley.
How's your arm, Ashley?
Well, yeah. I mean, now,
how's your arm?
Come on. Ball around, I'll get your ball. Now, but Ashley's not going to do is take those hits, though. No, we're not doing that.
That's fair.
That's why my
Me and you both, yeah.
Had to beef up the O-line. Actually, O-line. But it was amazing to be able to see myself on the field and be invested into my character. And no, I'm not controlling this, but much like an NFL game, you don't control it. I mean,
right.
You don't control it, you know, physically, but you're relying on the plays from the coaches, you know, for them to have a chess match with each other, and whoever wins, you know, was prevails. Yeah. Right? So I was always fascinated with the fact that everyone is so engulfed when you're in chat. They're really into this game. Mm-hmm. Like I could just see them. I've heard stories of people almost breaking their phones and televisions just, because your player threw an interception. Well, my player threw an interception, or
Right. Are you talking about yourself, Ashley? Have you broken a phone or a TV? Okay.
I'm more. First of all,
I've heard of some
like
players breaking their TV. It was you, Ashley.
Can't do that.
Yeah.
But what I have done, I'm one of those that will scream at the television or whatever I'm looking at. People looking at, what are you doing? I'm having a moment. Just leave me alone.
Yep.
Like I did tonight.
I'm the same way. I mean, when I'm cheering on my teams in the real sports leagues, I'm the one. I'm pretty low key. If no one can tell that already, I am very low key. That's just my demeanor all the time until one of my sports teams is on TV, and then people don't recognize me. I've scared friends that didn't know me until they saw that. But I'm screaming at the TV. I'm cheering them on from home. I'm cheering them on in the stadium, and I have the same mentality here because you not only have that level of fanmanship, but you also have some input. You know, as a player, you're kind of choosing their destiny a little bit, maybe not while they're on the field, but that's what I think is so fun about it. You have everything to do with that player, and once they go on the field, everybody can sit and enjoy it. It doesn't matter how skilled they are, or again, what their background is, or if they could do it in real life. That's not important, and that's what kind of transcends the game a little bit here.
Right. Yeah, completely agree. And, to some extent as well, Ashley, you're a QB, and no, you're not, controlling what your quarterback does. The coaches kind of have that. It's very similar, even if you were in the real league anyway. Anybody short of Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers are not allowed to call their own plays. Which means, right, there are 30 quarterbacks in the league who have to do what their coach told them to do. That's basically, how it works here in the SFL. It's no different than being on a real team, right? So I think that actually adds to the realism. And you made a very good point about Ashley's not taking hits, right, in real life. And I'm not mad at you. I'm not mad at you one bit for that. But here in the SFL, we can do that. Here in the SFL, it's created an opportunity for women to come in and thrive, for women to come in and succeed. So first off, congrats to you for being the first, for breaking that barrier. I'd like to see more of it. Why not, right?
Agreed. Yeah.
I've seen some of the female running backs that we've got, some of the female receivers that we've got on some of the other teams. And I think that is absolutely incredible, super, super important, super good. And if anybody deserved to be, the quarterback and the first one to do it, it was definitely you, Ashley. So kudos to you for that. But go ahead, Adam.
In light of Russell Wilson, I hope we're not going to see some "Let Ashley Cook" T-shirts start showing up on the scene too.
Why you got to bring it up, Adam?
I'm sorry, man. I know that's your old guy. It's a little too fresh. I know. I'm sorry.
I tried to, Adam.
He's a Seahawks guy.
Oh,
man.
Sorry, buddy.
Why? I was having a good day, man.
I'm sorry, man.
And
hey, I'm a Dolphins guy. I've gone through enough turmoil. I get it.
You have. You
have Dolphins guy.
So you get it. But yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for that. But it's
Ashley Cook. I like that.
It's what you're investing in, though. I think that's what drew you guys to it too, because I'm not sure if you played. Well, yeah, actually, I think we both have played.
We did.
Yeah. And so, you're not doing that right now. So you may have those memories of, scoring a touchdown or just making those stops that you want to relive again. Maybe you hurt yourself. We have people that are like one of my teammates, love him to death, Patrick Kelly. He's blind.
Wow. Bless him.
So he's able to live out his dream, just playing football.
That's amazing.
In a place like this. And there's a lot of different stories.
Yes, there are.
Talking to people and just getting to know people and doing the podcast and things like that. And just finding that out. And that's why people stay. That's why people
do.
Oh, yeah.
That's what makes this league a beautiful thing. Yeah. Yeah.
The barriers to playing are removed here. And that is fantastic. I love hearing stories like that, and just how excited people get to see their name be called, and to see them make the catch, and to see them win the game. That is just so awesome, and actually something that we want to grow as well. So I talked about this a little bit on Axel's channel with their minor league show, but I do have a foundation that I am starting this year called Cape Ability. And it's cape like CAPE, like a superhero would wear a cape. And how this whole thing got started was I volunteer pretty regularly at some places here in Indianapolis. I visit Children's Bureau a lot, which is a place that fosters kids who have just lost either their parents to death or by just financial situations, right? This is a place for them to be before the foster system kicks in, right? So it gives the parents a chance to work themselves out of a hole and get the kids back before they lose them completely to the foster system. And I very much believe in that. So I volunteer there a lot. But another place I love volunteering is Riley Children's Hospital here in Indianapolis. And as I walk through the halls and as I'm talking to the kids, something I always hear is, because I ask them, what do you want to be when you grow up? And a lot of them say, I want to be a professional athlete. And we go into that conversation, right? And I say, well, what do you want to do? What I learned from those conversations is that if the kid wants to be a race car driver, then I can talk to them a little bit about that, right? I have more to say about that. If they say they want to play football, I don't know where to go with that. So I started Capability because what I realized was that kids don't have a blueprint to it. I don't know if you guys remember Jim Abbott, old pitcher for the New York Yankees, but the guy had one arm and became a Major League Baseball pitcher. Make that make sense, right?
Yeah.
And I watched Jim Abbott do a TED Talk, and one thing he said was that the only reason I'm here today was because my parents, first off, they didn't put too much into my disability. They knew I could figure things out, right? And B, they gave me a path, kind of a map to getting there. And so I started a foundation that provides children maps, disabled children maps, to getting to where they want to go. You want to play football, you've got this particular ailment, I will set you up with an athlete who plays professional football with that exact ailment. He can tell you exactly what he does differently than everybody else and exactly how he did to get here. Cool. And that's what Capability provides, man. But the more I look at it, the SFL is in that same vein. The league here also provides that map, that blueprint, that way to get out on the field and to play. And I am all for that. I love that. I want to do more of it. So don't be surprised if we were to get our bid that we start seeing some initiatives at these children's hospitals
100%
as well. The league is perfect for that.
Yeah.
Well, that is wonderful, gentlemen. I believe that you have a good thing, you have a good plan. Now, I have another question. What are you going to do about coaching, your coaching staff? Do you have people that you're speaking with in regards to that, that are a part of the league, currently, or what is your plan for that?
I'm glad you asked that, because that's something that we want to be known, and we've talked a lot about behind the scenes. We know we don't have that experience, and we eventually want to get more and more of that experience. We know the game as it exists in real life. We know the strategy. That's one of my favorite things about the game, and why I love the game of football so much, is because it is a chess match on the field, and because the play calling is so important. A lot of people don't realize that about American football, but I love that aspect of it, and I want to get to know it as it pertains to the league itself and the all-pro football take on that. That being said, we want to put people in those positions. We plan to outsource all of the coaching right away. We want to put the people who have put in that time and want to be a head coach or want to be a coordinator. We want those people in those positions that we can trust, that we just we want to be hands-on, but we want to let them do their job at the same time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Again, Adam, it's putting people in the correct place, right?
Yeah.
It's all one big puzzle. And you got to put the pieces in the correct place. We know that our place at this point in time is not in coaching this team. And as I've reached out to some people, some coaches and things like that about what we're doing here with this bid, that's usually the first question I get is, well, I hope you're not going to coach this thing. I hope you're not going to be coaching it. I'm scared. I'm scared if you guys are coaching it. Well, guess what? I'd be scared too, man. I would totally be scared as well. And it's because we know that. I would not let my ego trick me into thinking that I know what I'm doing, with APF. We're still learning that system, and we understand that. We're still learning how everything works, and because we get that, we want to again put ourselves in a place where we're impactful. Where we are impactful is in the owner box, not the head coach's box, man. We completely get that. So we will be looking for experienced coaches, people who have been here a while, people who are not only just been here a while and know what they're doing, but are passionate about it.
Yeah.
And that's what we want. There's somebody out there who 100% loves being a head coach, doesn't want to be an owner, doesn't want to be anything else but a head coach, would really, really dive into that. And that's who we want. We want that kind of passion. We have somebody, who's probably who feels the same way about being an OC. He or she loves being an OC. It's the best thing in the world of them. We want that person, we would never put ourselves in the position to do that. So we will be talking with some of the people in the league who are open to that opportunity and think they're ready to take that step. And hopefully, as announcements start coming in with the bids, you will see us maybe announce that we have somebody now on board who's willing to take that job should we get the bid. But I assure you, it will not be us.
And yeah, exactly. And if you're that person listening now, you think you're that person, send us a message. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay. I was a little worried though. It's like, oh,
see, we've been getting that all week. You are frightening me. What? You're gonna go from rookie to owner / head coach / No. We're just gonna own this thing. We're gonna put the business stuff into place to grow the league, and the people who are good at that stuff will handle that stuff. Adam's really good at making popcorn. He may take the duties of being the popcorn vendor.
I've got that going for me.
But that's the extent. That's the extent of it, though. That's he's not going to be touching the coaching.
Everybody's got their thing. That's my one thing. Trust me on this.
Oh yeah, he makes a mean caramel and cheddar popcorn.
That's right.
Okay.
Oh yeah,
you can hire me for your parties.
Listen, the best caramel cheddar popcorn I have was from Garrett's in Chicago. So.
All right, I can get behind that.
Okay.
Oh, Garrett's got nothing on
Adam.
Garrett's got nothing on Adam.
Man, don't be putting those expectations.
No, that's true. He's joking. I can't do anything with popcorn that's not in a bag that tells you how long to do it. So if this is the downfall of our bid, Christian, I'm going to blame you. If someone's like, come make me some popcorn, I don't want to ruin it.
Another question for you too, before I kind of end things with you guys. I know you both are busy. You have a lot of things going on and stuff like that. So I appreciate your time and even coming on and making time for me like that.
Yeah, no, we appreciate you.
Yeah, absolutely.
So how hands-on are you going to be as owners? For one, with your team, are you going to be the type of owners that are going to be showing face in the locker room every single day? For me, that was important for me. Like I have to see you. I have to know you're there. And if I don't, it's almost like, okay, so did you just draft me just so I can sit here and look pretty? Or are we going to just be talking and have a conversation? We're going to get to know each other. I need to know where your mind is, where your plans are, where the team is going, that. And then how are you going to handle the adversity and the trials and tribulations that will sometimes come in owning a team, because it is very time consuming with the meetings, with sometimes those meetings last all day. with just the different nuances that go on with owning a team and being the busy gentleman that you are. How are you going to handle that?
Well, we do want to be very hands-on, and again, I think the fact that both of us are very passionate about what we do and we'll be passionate about this, that's going to be easy. And the fact that we both can pick up each other's slack is a big part of that. Yeah. So I'd say we want to be as hands-on as we can outside of telling our coaches what they can or can't do. We're going to let them run their game, but outside of that, we're going to be there every day. We've talked a lot about this. We want to have maybe some weekly meetings with just the team or periodic meetings where we're kind of checking in on everybody, and our doors are always open. But we're already trying to prove that in the chat, because we're always in here every day, at least, chatting with our minor league people and the general chat as much as we can. And it means a lot to us, that part of it too. It's very important that the locker room is happy and the people that are with the organization are happy. And not just that, but the other people in the league, the other owners, Cam and everybody that works behind the scenes is happy. If you could see the amount of time and work that we've spent the last 2 weeks in putting the bid together, just to make sure, because we're both kind of perfectionists in that way. We both are sending stuff back and forth to each other and on Discord pretty much all day between our jobs. Like, if there's a moment away from Christian's job or my job, we've been sitting here taking advantage of that moment to send each other an updated logo or an updated website, and if you could see the amount of time we've put into that, then you'd know. But again, that's very important to us.
Yeah, 100%, man. And I think our interaction, as seen in the SFLM Gen Chat, I think it does speak to how active we can be. Some people may look at our professions as, okay, these guys are extremely busy and they may not have the time for this. But the thing about time is that it can be made. Time can be manufactured, and the same way we make time to be active in the SFLM Gen Chat is the same way we'll make time to be active here in this endeavor as well, even probably more so, I'd say. And like you said, Adam, they're not, the people listening, the people watching, they're not there with us to see over our shoulders, the amount of work that we've put in over the last however long it's been now. I've lost track of the days, but they haven't been there to see it. But what he said is exactly what happens. I'll be at work, I'll be at the shop, I'll turn a quick 100 laps. That data has to process, right? Like, there's an engineer who's going through all that and mapping that. I don't just sit there like I normally would on a normal work day. I would probably close my eyes. I'd sit there in the cockpit and just close my eyes until the next session. I don't do that anymore. Now I get out of the cockpit, I take the helmet off, I go to my laptop, and I start working on stuff for the SFL. I start working on stuff for the league, and I'm happy to do it. I'm not saying, give me a break. I wish I had my breaks back. I don't. I'm very happy to do that. So we will continue to do that. And as far as being hands-on, something I will say, for those who don't know, I'm a U.S. Army veteran, Operation Iraqi Freedom War veteran, and I didn't make it to the rank of sergeant by not taking care of my guys. Mm-hmm. In high-pressure situations where it's life or death. The cool thing about that is that I've learned some skills that probably exceed, what's going on when the situation isn't life or death. Mental health is such a big thing to me, and I could very much see us having a locker room and a culture where you can come talk to your coach, even if it's not something that has to do with the team or football. I'm open to hearing what's going on with you. And working through that. I think it starts there. If you don't have, solid mental health, everything else that you do, including what you do on our team, is probably going to be not to the highest quality. So I want to take that same approach that I had with leadership in the Army, the same approach that got us all through Iraq. Didn't lose a single man. We all came back. And I want to take that and I want to bring that here. That's one of the greatest things I will ever achieve in my life, is that everybody came back.
Amen.
And I want to do that here in the league as well. So
Love that.
Indeed. Not everybody comes back, brother. So
true.
Mm-hmm.
I have family members, so I definitely understand. It's amazing. The more we talk to each other, the more you realize that you have more similarities than differences with people. And I can appreciate this league just for that, just for providing a space where you can talk about anything and then realize, hey, we're from that same small town, or hey, I'm in the service too, or hey, I play guitar too. It's something that will connect you. And
triangle.
That's exactly.
Plays a triangle.
Yeah.
Anybody's looking for the best triangle player I've ever
I
heard.
bet he's a mean triangle player too. Hit every beat.
Yeah, you can't knock anybody at what they do. We need everybody.
No,
we need every type.
Takes all kinds. Yep. Yep.
It does. I think that people will have a lot to consider this time around. I don't think it's going to be easy by any means.
Right.
Deciding whom should, receive a team. Thank goodness it's 4, to choose from.
Yeah.
I know that there are certain bids going on. I'm not sure who all are going out for bids.
Mm-hmm.
But I wish everyone the best of luck.
Same. Yeah, we do too.
We do too.
I do understand that it is a dedication, and I want to talk about, and this is the last question for you guys, the business end of things, because you both are so business oriented and business minded. Do you think that you'd be able to offer some of that business sense to the league? Meaning, like, even from the owners, just try to run this more like a business, even just getting in that mindset sometimes. Because I've heard some of the meetings, can be a little extra.
I would say 100% absolutely, because both of us are kind of business-minded guys, and what we keep saying to everyone that's listening, like we have an open door policy, that goes for the people that are behind the scenes in this thing too.
Yes.
Honestly, anybody that we can help or thinks that we can help them in some way, all you have to do is come talk to us, and we'll do everything that we can, because that stuff's important to us, because we're on this thing together. We're one big team behind the scenes. Even though we compete on the field, we're not competing behind the scenes. And we really want to move this league in the right direction and make it bigger and bigger in a healthy way, not, because sometimes things can get out of hand, but we don't want that to happen here. And I think that both of us have some different set of skills on that. From my industry and Christian's industry, there's probably a lot of parallels, but there's probably a lot of differences too. So we probably can offer a lot of different things.
Yeah, that's a pretty solid take on that, man. I think that both of our industries professionally are extremely competitive, right? Music, I've never been in that world, but just even being third party to it and watching what it takes to be able to do it and to be successful, man, it's not easy. So I know that's a grind. I know that takes being some part businessman, in order to be able to do that. And as far as the racing goes, obviously I'm well versed there. I do intend on bringing some of that too, because while I may not understand everything about APF at the moment, and don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that to say I'm never going to get there. I'm learning more and more about the actual software itself and the game every single day. But on my way there, I may not get all of it just yet. I may not get, okay, how are we doing this with the playbooks, and how are we doing that with the playbooks, which is why we're not going to be coaching. But what I do understand, I'll tell you what I do understand. It's sports, and it's business. I'm in the business of sports. 7 days a week, every day of the year, I am in the business of sports. And whether that's in the real world, with what I do with Marati Autosport, whether that's in the virtual world with what I do with World Pro Racing, I understand the business of sports. And because I understand that business of sports, that is exactly the kind of mindset that I want to bring to this here. There's opportunities out there. The beautiful thing about doors is that they don't make them without a way to open them. You've never come across a door that didn't have a way to open it, whether it was a knob, a handle, a push bar, whatever. Even the ones that revolve, there's still a way out and there's still a way in. Every door has a way to open it. And I intend on bringing that to this league. When you approach things with the mentality of there's a way to open this door, I just have to find it, man, the world is truly your oyster. You can go anywhere with it. It truly frees you, man. You are limitless. And that's where I see this thing being. Cam has done so much with this in his time. And I admire it. I respect it deeply. I want to build on that. Because it takes some of the pressure off of him, right? He's just one guy. One guy, it takes that pressure off of him. He can breathe a little bit easier, but B, it's for all of you guys, all the owners, and for everybody who participates in this league. Like Adam said, on the field, we're here to have a fight, right?
Yeah.
But behind the scenes, we are very much on the same team. And I want us to win. I want everybody else to win. And that's what we're bringing to this. So.
Absolutely.
All right, gentlemen. That's pretty much all the questions I have for you. I think you answered all of them beautifully. And I tried to kind of give you the mind, like kind of give you the questions that the owners kind of have.
Yeah.
Right.
And we appreciate that too. Yeah.
Anytime.
Yeah, thank you so much, Ash. This was great.
Good luck.
Yeah, thank you.
Now, before I let you go, don't even try it. Y'all both know y'all got to give me the last word. So.
We didn't get to that part yet. You're right.
That could be a song. That could be a poem.
She led with that. She leaned into that word too. Did you hear that?
Oh,
yeah. She did. But did you see how she started rubbing her hands together?
Yeah. You know what? I'm gonna say I'm 100% down to give you a song sometime, but let's build it up a little bit. Let's make it a special moment. Let's do it when the Classics are a team in this league, and where she's not believing me here. She's not about this idea that I'm coming up with. She's not amused by my plan.
You see my eyebrow?
I'm not buying what you're selling, Adam. I'm not.
You told me specifically. Oh, next time I got you, Ash.
He did say that.
I did say that. To be fair, that's not looking good. No, that's not.
He did say that.
I will not let you down. I promise you.
Okay.
The only reason I'm not doing it now is because Christian and I are putting in our 40 hours on building this.
Yeah, we really are, though. Honestly.
Yeah. But I know I'd love to sometime. I really would. I would love to do that. So when we're through this bidding process, one way or another, I'll make it happen for you.
Okay. Then our relationship, Adam, will be home free. Okay.
There she goes.
I see what you did. I see what you did there. I see what you did. And you know what? Actually, there's kind of a loophole, though, right? Because he did say the next time he was on. I think he meant the next time he was on individually.
By myself, yeah.
Yeah, that's totally what he meant.
Got my back, just like a true partner right there.
I got you, buddy. Yeah. right. That's totally what he meant. The next time he's on individually, right? This doesn't count because
we're a team here.
Yeah, this is on behalf of the Canton Classics.
Exactly.
This doesn't count, Ash. I'm sorry.
You're too much, I swear. But y'all have any last words for these good people, or last words for the owners that you just want to kind of put it in their minds?
I just want to say, I've said it 100 times. I'm like a broken record here, but just come talk to us, man. Whatever you want to talk about, I'm happy to talk about, and any questions you have for me and probably Christian, just let us know. Let's get to know each other. if we don't already.
Yes, absolutely. I would also like to get to know each and every person.
Yeah.
And it doesn't even have to be around what we do here in the SFL. Or football. Like I said, with how we would run our team is the same way I would approach the owners. We're all here to build relationships and to become buddies, right? Especially when it's considering all that off the field stuff. And then when it comes to the on the field stuff, you get 4 votes, and I get why taking the wild card would be a risk, but there's so much more positives to having Adam and I in the right place to make an impact than there are negatives to that, and we look forward to showing you. And
we want to wish luck to everybody that is putting in a bid too, for
absolutely
all their hard work and not just working on their bids, but just being here for this thing.
Absolutely. So Minnesota Legend, Seattle Nemesis, the Indianapolis Ramblers, the Calgary Buckaroos.
We're cheering for you guys.
We absolutely are. Those are all teams we know of, and we wish you the best.
Hey, phenomenal. I love it, gentlemen. Well, as I said before, good luck to you, and looking forward to seeing where you guys go and how you make an impact in the league.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Y'all have a good one. I'll see you soon.
All right,
you
I'll
too.
see you very soon. You'll be hitting the field pretty soon in the SFLM.
That's right. It's coming up.
Yeah. What do we have? 2 weeks left?
Yeah, about 2 weeks.
Yeah. Ooh.
You guys gonna, y'all was both talking a little mess, You'll be able to live up to it on the field, when y'all finally take it out. Because I'm gonna let you know.
Talking. Who was talking mess, Ashley?
Both of you.
I would never. I
No.
That doesn't even sound like me.
No.
I would never.
I've never heard that.
Mind you, it was gentle. I loved how subtle it was, but.
No, what's cool is that we're both defensive players. So it's great. Like, we're here to crack skulls, and I dig that. I really do like that. And it's virtual, so nobody really gets hurt. But out there on the digital field, we are very much here to hurt you. We want. If you were able to walk off and you weren't crippled by the end of this game, I didn't do my job. That's how I see it.
I want to be, and I don't know how many people, depending on your age, will get this reference. I want to be the John Randall of this league. Christian, you already kind of got that vibe. That guy was like the most fun trash talker, and it's a good time. We like having some fun talk there, and we're going to continue that no matter how it goes on the field. Our spirits won't dampen if it doesn't go well that first game, but I have a feeling it will.
Man, we got Greg Soto now as the OC. I have heard nothing but positive things about him. So I already expect us to be putting up more points than the team put up last season. As I was watching the games from last season, the defense wasn't bad at all. We just didn't have enough offense to overcome. Like, the opposing team would only get 10 points. Mm-hmm. But if we only score 3, we still lose that game. So, if we keep doing our job, and we look pretty stout, I'm not going to lie, man. If anybody watched Axel's show, he kind of went over the preseason looking at the teams. Everybody, all the analysts on that show said the exact same thing. That San Jose defense is looking scary, and that's good. I want you to have nightmares about me. Please do, Wake up.
I already do myself, just from being on the team.
I'm calling it right now. And this is no knock to anybody. This please don't come in my DMs talking about why you do it. It's like, Lord. But I think I could definitely see the flight, and I can definitely see the Adams in the championship. Now, you got to keep in mind, Adams are a tough cookie. They are champions, so they know. So it's going to be interesting. I think everybody's learning. Everybody is getting adjusted to the playbooks, the grand scheme of things. So the SFLM is going to be just as exciting as the major. So
yeah, we're excited about it.
You got to watch. You got to watch. You got to watch and cheer us on, and we'll have some fun. That's more so than what it's about versus the winning and the losing. It's about having fun. But if we can win too, that's cool.
Even more fun.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Indeed. Well, gentlemen, thank you so much for your time, and I will see y'all on the field. All right.
All right.
Yes, you will.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Ashley.
All right, everybody, and welcome back to part 2 of my 4th and Goal interviews tonight. I have Mr. Kye Ethan. He is the head coach of the Lexington Miners, as well as the GM of the Houston Hyenas, as well as old lineman over there as well. How are you doing?
I'm doing wonderful. I'm sitting at work in the parking lot.
I appreciate you for being here, man. I really do.
I appreciate being here too. You're a wonderful host. This is my 3rd time on this show.
So you might as well just.
And it took how long?
I can hear you.
It took forever the first time. It took forever the first time.
Okay, that was because of you, and you were like, "Oh well, I got some stuff to do, and I don't know if I want to be on camera." And yeah, I remember.
Still don't want to be on camera.
Kye, tell me, what are your thoughts on Houston's season so far?
We're playing amazing. We started out 1-3, and have been on a 4-game winning streak since. So it's been fun to watch. My team. I just like to make comments about throwing a Twinkie out there for myself. O-lineman, maybe a cheeseburger.
I thought it was noble of you to go to that old lineman position, and give someone else that spot, that chance, at strong safety, because those are coveted spots, and things like that. And while O-line is so important, if there was some way, I don't know, I know it would take a lot of work, but if it was some way that we could track your stats, or I know that the broadcasters have been better at giving you guys accolades in real time, for the blocks that you put up, for the times that you protected your quarterback and things like that. But it's kind of a thankless job, and I think that you guys deserve all the thanks in the world, especially coming from a quarterback's perspective, because I have not been sacked as many times as I could have been this year, because I have such a good O-line, O-line. So shout out to my O-line, to Sean and to Patrick and to EJ. Y'all, Kye, y'all are important, So what was it like taking that different path? Not necessarily a step back, because it's just as important, but that different path for you.
I took it to allow new talent to come in, because I've been in the league for so long. I figured it was a fair shot for the other people to do it and not just play O-line, since nobody wants to play it. And to me, it's not about the stats. It's about watching the game with the team and having fun.
Indeed. And Kye, you've been around for a long time. I've seen you be involved in a whole lot. I mean, from when a draft comes, you're making sure that the spreadsheets are kept up to date as far as who's being drafted. You help with that. You even help with the free agency. Who is free agent? Who's retiring? You make sure we have all of those that important information. From the value that you add to each team that that you're on, from being the coach or wanting to be so heavily involved in the league. So what drives you to be so heavily involved with the SFL and in every aspect that you decide to get involved in?
Want to see the league succeed, and any way I can help out is whatever I can do, whether it be small or big. I mean, I'm not big on selling myself out there. I'd rather be behind the scenes type.
tell, even by the change in the player, in changing your player. And a lot of people give you kudos for the job that you do, especially in the minors. You are the head coach of the Lexington Miners. And tell me a little bit about that. How did you get involved with that? And why did you want to coach the minors?
Well, I got involved with it with Jason Williams and Josh Williams. And they brought me on to be DC, and I was helping Josh learn defense. And then we went 4-4 that season, the first season. Second season, I took a step back and was just an assistant coach, and we won the championship. The next season we went with an 8-0 season, and then Jason Williams decided to step back from coaching, so we didn't have the Adams for season 4. And I contacted Chad about being the DC for the Lexington Miners. Well, Chad had things come up with in his real life, and I ended up taking over as head coach. And yeah, I went 4-4 last season, but I still made the championship. I promise I made to my team before the season even started.
I mean, that proves something. You have the gumption, you have the drive to get up here, and then you make promises that you can actually keep, I mean, probability, it's all about probability, of course, but, you were able to figure out that in the grand scheme of things, what works. And it helped get your team to where they needed to be and where you promised them. So that said, with expansion coming up, I know that you particularly have been going after a team for about 3 years now. Every time
this is the third expansion bid.
Exactly. So every bid that I've been paying attention, I've seen you go up for, and I've seen you lose, for one reason or another. I saw
the
your
Honolulu
I
split?
saw.
The Honolulu Eclipse was the first one. The Washington State Thunderbirds was the second one, and then now it's the Seattle Nemesis.
Right. Now I've seen the Seattle Nemesis. Actually, I think I've seen all of your work. I've seen everything. I like Seattle. I like the city. I like the colors. Great color scheme, man. And I think with the experience that you have showed over the past few seasons in the head coach role and for the SFL, and even with helping and GM and other front house responsibilities on other teams, I think for me, you'd be a shoo-in. But what is something that you would want the owners to know about you and why you deserve a team? Why is that so important to you? I mean, because obviously you've been here through thick and thin. So the fact that you've been here for so long, that should, help. But why should I give you a team?
Because I put in the work. I put in the work and do my best to help my team succeed, help other teams succeed. I've helped teach other coaches in the minors coaching. One of the ones I taught coaching was Jaden Swift, Tulsa's defensive coordinator. Helped him out a little bit, and I'd rather pass on knowledge than keep it. Teaching what I've learned. And isn't that what coaching's about? Teaching the next person. You want to bring in new talent?
You're absolutely right. It is. It is about that. And it is about the work that you show, not only to the teams that you're on, but how the league reveres you. What have you done for the league itself? And you've done a lot. So I mean, I wish you the best, man. You know, every time I see you, you have these great ideas, and you kind of let me know a little bit about where your head is as far as like, different things you're thinking about. But I think you're a good guy. I think that you have definitely put in the work and the time it takes. And I think that it would be remiss for you not to get a team this season. I mean, it's not up to me, but if it was, I would definitely vote for you for that. But good luck to you, man. I've watched you grow, and I wish you the best.
Well, that's all I can do is just do my best.
Mm-hmm. That's it. And once you know you've done your best, I mean, then that's it. I mean, there's nothing else to give. But so what is your? I know that you want your own team. Do you have a plan in place for GMs, coaching, coaches, your front of house staff? You have any ideas about whom you'd want to try to recruit? Or is that kind of still kind of secret? You don't have to tell me exactly who or anything like that, but
I actually want to hold an open application for that. Give other people a chance, read over what they can do.
I respect that. So I have a few more questions before I put you on the hot seat a little bit, because I know we're kind of pressed on time, but what are your thoughts on the SFL as a whole? We have a lot of new rookies that have joined over the past couple weeks, 90. So we're now at that expansion time. We're now at the fact that you can try to get your expansion team. What do you think about that? What do you think changed in the SFL to just draw so many people in?
The product is just a great product. I mean, a lot of people tell their friends, and their friends will come in, and then they'll tell their friends. It's almost, I can admit that's how I got into the SFL. Was my friend Ryan Michaels told me about it. I joined, and here I am still.
And one more thing I do want you to speak on before I let you go, to the new rookies that have joined. What are some things you would like for them to know in order for them to be successful in this league?
Ask questions, because we will always answer them. And if we can't answer them, we'll direct you to Deputy Commissioner Andrew Rostelli. Just don't tag him. He doesn't like being tagged.
That's the warning. Just don't do it. Just don't do it. But awesome, man. Thank you so much for taking some time out with me. You're just getting off work, and I really appreciate it. So let you go home, get you some rest. But before I let you go, you have to give me the last word. So that could be a song, that can be a poem, or that can be just a simple shout out. But right now, Kye, the floor is yours.
Let's go, Houston. We'll make this shit. We're going to make the playoffs, and we're going to keep trying to float ahead of them. Don't eat Twinkies at night. You get stomach aches and bubble gut. That's for you, Day.
Words of wisdom. Remember that, everybody. Hey, good luck the rest of the season. And I can't wait to have you back on the show again. Maybe you can come and help me with the minors. Maybe give me some input and even help host the show for the minors. Would you like that? If you're not too busy. Sure. I know you got like 1,000 hats you're wearing right now. So.
No, just one right now.
Gotcha. All right, brother. I'll see you soon.
All right.
All right. Good luck. All right, everybody, and I am back with more expansion hopefuls. So I have here with me Mr. Axel Raven and Mr. BJ Loveless. Oh, excuse me.
There you go.
They put their bid in for the Minnesota Legends. How are you doing?
Doing good. How about yourself?
Phenomenal, doing great. Just, learning why everyone, is so apt to own a team and understanding the different philosophies behind each team. I'm having fun doing this.
Good. Yeah, I'm glad to be back, Ashley, as always. Thank you for having me.
Anytime. Y'all can come, it don't have to take y'all months, neither one of you months to come back, but But good to have y'all back though. But how's life? How's SFL world been for you? Before we go into the expansion, how's everything going with you guys?
Could be better. 4-6 ain't where I would want to be in Queen City, but
3-7.
Just the way. So sometimes that's the way the cookie crumbles. Everybody can't be Baltimore, I suppose.
Not everybody, nah.
Yeah. Our game is still, when we're recording this, we've still got an hour or so until our game plays. So I'm hoping that we're 4-6 after this. So.
Okay. All right. Well, good luck to you. Good luck to you.
Yeah. Thanks.
All right. So it's interesting, gentlemen, that you guys decided to partner up on this expansion bid. And I want to know, why did you select each other to take this journey with?
Well, I was putting together a bit. I'd been, toying with this idea for, since I joined the league, wanting to be part of ownership and seeing what that would be and playing with different concepts and things. And I'd sort of landed on one and was shopping it around to a couple owners, getting some advice and things. And TJ over at Baltimore was like, hey, actually, you know what? I think, you're a strong contender, but also partnering up because you're so new with somebody else would be a great thing. And he dropped BJ's name. I had known of BJ back with conversations with Eddie, back in building my own linebacker player back when I was minor league last spring. And then, BJ moving on to Queen City and things, doing what he was doing, building up the team there. And so, huge high regard in my mind. So I reached out to BJ and started sharing. He asked a lot of good questions and sharing what I've been thinking and stuff. And things just really sort of matched up really, really well. So like with everything, with both the concept, with our philosophies and it felt like we've known each other for a long time. I mean, we've had some interactions here or there throughout the league, throughout the last number of months and season or two. But really, it just sort of felt really good in the DMs as we were, courting each other back and forth then.
Yeah, and my story is I ain't gonna say somewhat similar. I was just toying with the bid thing, and I really wasn't falling in love with anything I was coming up with, and just out of nowhere, Axel kind of hit me up like, "Hey, give me your thoughts on this. I'm possibly looking for another co-owner and to partner up with." And just from the beginning, it was like our philosophies and the things we wanted to accomplish with the team, and the type of players we wanted to bring in, and the type of philosophy of the team, top to bottom, and what we were trying to accomplish on and off the field kind of meshed up. It was like a match made in heaven almost. And as we continued to keep talking and throwing things against the wall, we agreed on a lot of things.
And so,
awesome.
So it's we're now past the third date kind of thing, and
right.
kind of we're starting to things are going really good, and that's what I've found too. Is it's I think for both of us, it's really not about like the team concept or bringing football back to Minnesota. Those are all really great byproducts, but I think really the shining thing that we want to see or have this team bring about is like the philosophy that we have and the way that we want to build our community, both at the player level to the team level, and how to have a bigger ripple impact throughout the league as well. I think is really why we're wanting to get into this. So
Awesome. So, what is the story behind the Minnesota Legends name and the mascot?
Sure. So there's a legend of a Minnesota like Sasquatch population. You know, from anywhere from Pine City or Pine County near Hinckley, if you're familiar with Minnesota at all, up north to the Gunflint Trail over towards Ely and the Iron Range. There's a lot of different sightings of Sasquatch. And actually, so I live in Elk River, Minnesota, and
Elks.
About 15 miles away as the crow flies in Ham Lake, Minnesota, there was video footage someone captured of a Sasquatch, you know, stomping around in some snow. You know, authenticity, you know, take it with a grain of salt, but it's fun to think about, and to have that be so close, you know, it just feels there's so much like forest and woods. Do we know, you know, what is out there? So that's sort of where this you know springs from. You know, choosing the beast mascot for in the game. We've got, you know, the head of a Sasquatch furry creature as sort of our logo, with the Minnesota state emblem behind, and our focus on green, like this, you know, this kind of green with the monochromatic colors and things. That sort of, so it started off, I was originally thinking about, the Minnesota Sasquatches, you know, well, BJ, it's like, that doesn't really roll off the tongue very well. What are some other options? I think he had thrown out like the Minnesota lore or the Minnesota legend or something like that. And legend is what we're like, that's a good, you know,
right.
We're going singular because we're trying to, there was previously a Legends team in the SFL. There's also the Legends in the game as well, you know, wanting to carve out our own little niche in there.
Yep. I can understand how that can be confusing, you know. Now, you gentlemen talked a little bit about your philosophy, but I would like for you to kind of dive more into the philosophy of the Minnesota Legends. What will possible future players be looking forward to?
Well, I can kind of start with that one. First of all, we want to create a community of learning in Minnesota, first of all. And that's as far as teaching guys the GM roles, the coaching and scouting roles. We're putting together a scouting department, possibly, of guys teaching other players how to scout. I've always been a proponent since the day you've met me of teaching the next crop of guys of what things to do. And, you know, Axel has always been ahead of the table when it comes to letting the guys in the SFLM and guys coming into the league know the ins and outs of scouting, game planning, everything. He's a fantastic teacher and willing to teach. So that's where we kind of met, and we were like, yeah, that could be a thing. Being a team that helps and drives toward making guys more familiar with how the league works, operates, and how guys can get noticed and get better and get noticed by other teams as well as us. And I just seen a score but I digress. But yeah, we're all about teaching and letting everybody know and learn the league, basically.
I mean, you've got people like T-Pat, who's been doing living and breathing this game for, you know, coming up, you know, the better part of 2 decades almost, right? Or maybe not the better part, but more than a single decade. So that's a lot of coaches have that 10 plus 13 years with this game. So how are these new players coming in? And if we start losing people like Alan of CHS last year, you know, left and passed on, his team over to Johnny Bravo and
Jack Brown,
and you know, what if that continues? I mean, they can't all continue all the time, right? So what are we supposed to do? How are we supposed to bring up this next generation? And I think this is, you know, we're wanting Minnesota, whether that to be a stepping stone in that for a number of players, whether that's coming in as a scout, we teach you to scout, move up into, you know, maybe a mentoring the coordinator role, and or, for a season or half a season or a couple weeks, helping and sitting down, having the offensive coordinator working with somebody, showing them some ropes or getting them set up to simming and providing, some of the results of sims and be able to collaborate on it and like that. And then, hey, maybe offenses isn't my thing. I'm going to switch over to defense and just really showing around, like, what is it? In the Wizard of Oz, opening up that curtain to the wizard behind it and seeing how the sausage is made, if that makes sense. So.
Exactly. Okay. I'm feeling that. I'm feeling that. Now, why ultimately should the owners give you a team? Because, of course, you both have been highly active in the league. You've been a part of the league for a very long time, or at least BJ, all the GM roles, the camaraderie that you have established in the league with amongst everybody. You've done a lot. And Axel, I was just saying this off camera, that you've only been here for a small amount of time, but it feels like forever for the time and dedication that you put in to the league just starting. So ultimately, what do you want the owners to understand about the both of you that would show them that you're capable of owning a team and keeping up with that?
Well, it's like you said, I feel like I've just started to reveal the tip of the iceberg of what I want to be able to impact and how I want to, trying things out. I'm not afraid to get my hands dirty and playing with things and trying things out. Again, with all the benefit, solely focused on bringing a better experience for the players. And I think that's where our focus, that's the base, that's the foundation of what the SFL is really, the players, the focus, the players, the experience they have, the camaraderie that we're building. And then beyond that, that's where everything else is structured. So if you fall apart on bringing together the playership, the players, the community around that, I think that's important, and where I want to continue to have that strong impact. I want to be able to help other teams. I want to be able to help, creating some, whether that's artifacts or other things. Let's see, my words are not coming out the way that I want them to. But
to pick up where Axel left off is basically total growth across the league, growing the experience on and off the field with knowledge and my vast knowledge of the league, Axel's ever-growing knowledge of the league, and his reach in the league, because second to maybe you and Dave Axis, actually, Axel may be a close third as far as reach when it comes to the younger contingent and the less experienced contingent of the league, and they're everywhere. Axel's the first guy to do this for us. Axel is the first guy to do that for us. Axel talks to me with this. It's just his reach and connection, and as well as my vast experience and just total growth and helping the league advance. And with advancement, understanding has to be put in place first. And when they understand, more people come, more growth, and that's pretty much our mission. Anything the league wants to do, good or bad, I mean, for the most part, positive, we're along for it. We want to see this thing grow.
Yeah. And sort of to finish where I was going and to also, piggyback on what BJ was talking about too, is, for the owners, if I'm speaking to the owners, we want to be able to collaborate with you all. We want to be shoulder to shoulder, and there's a reason we want to be shoulder to shoulder with you all, so that we can have to help support you, help support the league, help support the league's front office, and the overarching goal of this growth of this thing that we call SFL, right? Seeing this expanding to different markets, or to trying out different things, to again bring in people, to keep them here and keep them engaged and keep them growing. There's from the birth of an individual player or someone who's interested, taking that as like a marketing speak, that's a lead. And how do we take that individual little lead and grow it into an eventual really engaged, perhaps owner down the line, whether that's a year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years down the road.
We all started somewhere, right?
Indeed. You got to crawl before you walk. right?
Yeah.
Awesome stuff, gentlemen. Awesome stuff. So about coaching, about your front of house staff, front office staff, I should say. I'm thinking restaurant. Do you have any takers in mind, or have you been reaching out? Do you have a plan as to whom would assume the roles of head coach and or offensive coach? Are you going to break those down? Like, do you have a plan for that right now?
Yeah, we have a soft plan for the most part. We have I believe Axel will probably take over as offensive coordinator. If I'm wrong, Axel, correct me.
We do have somebody who is interested, and so might be like a collaboration. So again, it's trying to figure out where these pieces fall in, right?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, being involved in whether that's an offense or head coach or wherever else that we need gap filling, but with the eventual plan that fills some of that with other individuals or players.
Right. As me coming off a GM role, I'm ready to go into ownership, but as well guide the next GM candidate or assistant GM candidate. We may have two, to put him in the situation I'm currently in and letting him get his feet wet and crawl before he walks. But if he needs any assistance, that's what I'm here for.
That's the thing. I think, harkening back to the ideal learning thing, what we want to be able to set up is create this sort of structure where there are people that are hungry to move up into these types of roles, and then those that have been in those roles to help guide and provide and sort of mentor this streamline, this increase, these people leveling up each way wherever they want to be able to.
Yep.
But lots of interest, lots of tree shaking. Lots of reaching out. So
we got a healthy amount of candidates for every position, pretty much.
And that's good. That is good. To be able to choose, pick and choose, and find the best. Ultimately, who you think is going to fit the locker room the best, in the grand scheme of things. But I just think it's interesting how paths cross. Like DJ, for you, the last time you put out a bid, you were with Jack Brown.
Yep.
And you were going for I believe it was the Detroit Blaze, if I remember. Yep. And now you've moved on with Axel Raven, and it does seem promising, I will say. What is the plan for you guys as far as business sense? Because being an owner, you will have to dedicate a lot of time, a lot of effort. And while we all of us are busy in our respective lives, but will you be there like a hands-on owner? What is your business sense like?
I'd like to think that we'd be fairly hands-on as to the point of that we need to, or in a way that is supportive to those that are doing the work, if that makes sense. There's a adage, and I'm not sure exactly where it comes from, but many hands make light work. The idea of and harkening back to BJ and my philosophy for team and team culture is a lot of transparency, really solid communication, and really leaving your title at the door kind of thing, that we're all people coming in, and people might be able to, they might be have a history in a certain thing or have experience professionally in some way. How do we leverage all of that and the different special abilities that we have on the team? This diverse network of people that are coming together, 23 players plus other people that are, whether that's front office people, if they're not as players or anything. So there's a lot of places to pull from to get a lot of this accomplished. And so the idea of just, mentoring people, bring them up and
creating multiple levels of a team in general, creating that pyramid of varying structure.
Okay.
Gotta protect your investment, Ash. Gotta protect your investment.
Indeed. And I think even being in the SFL, we've all invested something, whether it's time, whether it's emotions, whether it's something. And I find it still unbelievable that we have so many people coming from all walks of life that meet up and probably would not have met in any other circumstance but here. And that is the one thing that I love and that I hope that will continue with this league forevermore, is the sense of community and camaraderie that we have with each other. Even when we're mad at each other, even there are times when we're just upset, you said this you weren't supposed to say, you probably did something. Later on down the line, you want to forgive each other, so I think that's good. But I want you gentlemen, before I let you go, to kind of talk about a little bit of what you have done for the league, because the owners will be considering all that. And there may be something that you can mention that you've done that they don't know about, and maybe to help you out.
Since I have the most experience, I've been a GM for 2 different franchises, and a quote unquote hand to the king in another. Shout out Eddie Gage. But every let's say the thing I stand on most proudly is probably I think every draft pick I've drafted has been here, is still here actually. So I know I have an eye for people, I suppose, and long-standing members of the league. So I'll take that under my belt a little bit. I'm sure there are people out here elsewhere that have the same, accolade that I kind of stand on. But isn't that kind of what the league is trying to stand on, is retention and keeping people here a long time, and the camaraderie? And I found guys that found a home. The Everett Garrisons, the Aiden Davises, the Cody Griffins, the Odette Boudreaux, the Nathaniel Diggs. I've had a nice little bit of retention in this league as a general manager. So I take pride in that and finding good people.
You're like a foster parent adopting a bunch of kids, right?
Right. I'll take that. I'll take that. I've come across many likes in the 7 or 8 seasons I've been here so far. So yeah, that's 4 years. Yeesh. Time flies when you're having fun. Yeah.
Indeed,
so,
yes. Go ahead.
For me, I started off being the giving back to the league kind of thing. Worked with why am I blanking? Andrew Vancouver. What's his last name? Why can't I think of it?
Andy Hamilton?
Hamilton, yes. Thank you. Working with him a little bit, because I have a background in graphic design for the pamphlets for the convention. He had asked to helped him out with some of the Photoshop updating of some of the things in the guide. Then from that was really early on, that last summer. And then, wanting to be more than just a player, and reached out to Madison, became their assistant offensive coordinator underneath Jacob Clear. Worked really hard in that locker room. Still working really hard in that locker room now to sort of build that community and team. Being ever present, bringing in another individual to help be that community builder in the locker room, because I'm being pulled in doing a lot of other things for San Diego. So then in the off season, moving over to San Diego, was brought on there as the director of communications. So doing the communications for them, and then but wanting to keep my hand or toe in coordinating, I was underneath Liam Hammer. Was doing some assistant OC stuff for the first couple weeks, and then stepped into the offensive coordinator role there. And am there since doing that, so sort of dual role there. Still so Jacob Clear left to go to Annapolis in the minor leagues. So now I stepped into the offensive coordinator as of January 1st type of thing. Have been, again, doing all the progressions and planning for the minor leagues, or the links there. For the show itself, been or last fall created this minor league show and ran 15 episodes last season. We just did our second one last Wednesday as part of our second season of the show that sort of linked to the season 5 minor league season. So running that last season, ran like the survey and putting together the rosters and teams for a prospect bowl. We call it Pro Bowl for short for the minor leagues. So ran the very first ever one of those, unofficial Pro Bowl for the minor leagues. So ran that. We got a lot of I want to say we had 300 viewers of that show or that game, which I think was really great for a minor league team during Cam's or minor league game during Cam's wedding last year. Since then, this coming Friday, we're running our 4th of 4 preseason games. So I've been building out the rosters for those so that we are giving these minor league players the ability to see themselves instead of waiting from January when many of them were coming in. A lot of the solid, the core people that are there right now, we have a lot more obviously coming in. I think these games are helping to be able to see themselves out on the field, sharing this with the others and their friends and family, which then gets them interested. Instead of going from January to end of August to having these games, having these preseason games, I think are bringing in and boosting a lot of those coming in and giving them an opportunity to see themselves sooner than later, and having a lot of the same community rivalries and shit talking and all the different things that come with things that happen during the 8 weeks of the regular season. We've been able to extend that for 2-3 months before the season even starts, and all the positive benefits that come there in building this next generation of minor league players. So that's sort of my support that I've been giving the league. So
awesome. And you both make very, very valid points. Again, this is going to be a very difficult task for the owners. I mean, you do have 4 different team slots that will be filled, but it's a lot of good people out here.
The stress, as a person that's been through this before, the stress really hits you the closer the day gets where the announcements are made. The application and going through the interview process with the owners, that's a little hair raising, but the stress of the night before the championship game or whenever Cam decides to announce it this year is the most stressful 12 hours ever. Bro, I couldn't sleep that night. We ultimately came up short, but that's where the stress kicks in. The nerves are just shot. I think I'll go back to watching that championship game. I don't remember anything from the first half of that game. 0. It was
it's crazy because that was going to be my last question to you all. What do you foresee being a maybe difficult task for you starting off as owners? And how do you plan to overcome such a challenge? And that can be in any aspect, whether it's finding players, whether it's the business side of things. What do you think
I'll say getting players to buy into the vision. I'll obviously filling out a roster with a team that has no history and no real background as it stands is going to be a task in itself. That's what all 4 teams, all 4 bids that ultimately get accepted is getting guys to leave somewhere where they've created a culture or a friendship or a bond with certain franchises around the league and getting them to uproot that to come try something new. The one thing in this league that is definitely apparent is that people fall in love with something they're familiar with and they stick with it. I mean, you get some that change their tone and walk out the door, take their football and go to another team, but it's more than less that some people just stick where they are. They fall in love and they're comfortable. So and getting people to fall in love with the vision you set out. That maybe it's not a 1-year plan, maybe it's not a 2-season plan, maybe it's not a 3-season plan, but keep the faith, and we'll get where we want our vision to be. And sometimes you exceed expectations, and sometimes you meet expectations, sometimes you don't. And getting people to hang on to the vision you have set in your mind as a leader is probably one of the hardest things to do, especially if you fall short of expectations, or you just meet expectations, or you're constantly hitting a certain number and you're like, 6-6, that was okay. Let's see if we can grow next year. That's 8 wins. Oh, now we're back to 6 wins. So what's going on? Why aren't we constantly moving forward? First of all, it's a fluctuating league. Teams come and go. Coaches come and go. Philosophies change. Different guys get into different locker rooms, and things change a little bit. I mean, only consistent thing is Baltimore, but tonight might be a little chink in armor, but buying into that vision for everybody who joins a new franchise is probably the tallest task in my book, to keep people in line with what your vision is and keeping that faith.
For me, I'm probably going to overwork myself. I want to make sure every single person that joins the team is happy, is getting what they need, and it's going to be tough because I'm a perfectionist. I like to have people happy. I want to be and that's the ideal, right? That's what we're striving for. But I also tempering that with not everybody's going to be happy, or not everybody's going to think the same way, and it's really, I think so. I want to make sure that I'm not overstretching and doing all of that, or even pushing people out, because I don't want to do that. That's not what I'm trying to do. So,
right,
trying to make sure that I'm staying true to myself, staying true to our vision, and being what people need, but also not over trying to cram it down anybody's throat, because that's not what we want either. So I'm not too worried about that. Not too worried, but I just don't want that to happen. That would be the worst part of my.
Just got to go out there and have fun, man, and keep the faith. Keeping the faith that when you keep an upbeat attitude, usually other people will keep that same energy. It's about the energy you project onto others in a leadership role, I would say.
And I think that's one thing where we shine really well. I think both of us. I've had recent people tell me that they really appreciate, me never giving up in the YouTube chat, even when we're down, that kind of thing. Just keeping things positive and focusing around the people that are around you. So.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Not the W's or losses all the time. It's how you play the game. And the game is everything outside of the field as well.
It's funny because I've often asked this question. And it comes down to the individual players at this point, because it depends on if you're chasing a ring or if you're patient enough to wait and see what happens. But it's interesting to see when the chips are down, who's going to stay with you and who's going to have your back, or who's going to chase waterfalls, so to speak. And I think it's important for any owner, any GM, to try to establish that locker room sense of family, of being welcoming, because everyone has something going on in their life, good or bad, and they may want to share it and use how you deal with that. But just make sure that you guys, like you said, Axel, it's very easy to want to please everybody, because these are 23 plus people that are counting on you. And I have to tell Eddie this too, like a lot of times, I think owners because you care so much, you get so invested, and it can affect you. Just make sure that it's not affecting you negatively, because it is a game. This is a hobby for us. Although we care about this hobby a lot because we're so invested in it, it's important to have that balance. And I think as long as y'all have that balance, you guys are going to be fine.
and I feel like BJ and I are developing that type of relationship that I think we're, if one of us is feeling down or bad or whatever, we're right there to help bring each other, shine an actual mirror to the situation. So many times we get our dysfunctional beliefs or dysfunctional views of certain things, and like it just takes a sounding board to say, no, that what you're describing or the situation you're imagining in your head is actually not the way it is. Here's the way it is. This is actually what we're seeing. Are you going to die at the end of the day? No. How do you move on from this kind of thing? So I think that's something that we both can do, provide for each other, provide and trickle down and make that sort of a shining thing. I love your wellness checks and the idea of doing things like that and having this idea of a family within the team itself and looking out for each other and getting to know each other more on a personal level. So
shout out to Ashley's wellness checks, because I've definitely stole that and brought that into my locker room for sure.
Hey, nothing wrong with that. I'm glad. And I'm glad that little act of kindness is starting to rub off on people. I mean, you can do something negative and affect somebody and then they pick up on that. But if that's a positive thing that I brought to you guys, then
that was dope. And it needs to be done across the league one way or another by all teams. And like Axel said, sometimes we may need to lean on each other as ownerships, as partners, as friends, as colleagues. Sometimes, winning and losing is the highest of highs and lowest of lows sometimes. Sometimes you just might look at it and all the hard work you put into it and be like, damn.
Right. Hours.
Feeling like I'm burnt out or things, yeah.
Right. Some days it'll be like, man, you just feel like crap after a loss. And sometimes you may say some things or see something said in the chat, because I definitely did recently, that I apologize. Well, I will apologize now for that. I lost my composure after a loss and seeing something in the chat. And those, no one's perfect. Things like that happen sometimes. You see something and it might just trigger you and you go off. And because losing sucks.
Yeah.
Sucks. And it puts you in a bad mind frame when you lose. You're the happiest of happy when you win, but losing sucks.
Yeah, it builds character. It definitely.
It builds some characters, some villainous characters sometimes, but yeah,
you just got in general trying to lead with grace. Like you were just saying, we are human, and so taking that of and you, BJ, exactly saying what you're saying. Like, I'm going to go back and apologize. I was out of. That was out of a different part of me than ideal. So I appreciate that you calling that out too. So,
it's like you just gotta, and hopefully, leaning on Axel and Axel leaning on me in the long run is going to get us through a lot of crazy days with this franchise. Shall we get it? Because man, losing sucks. Winning is fun, but losing sucks.
Yes, you're right. And before I let you go, the longevity, you guys, both of you have been in the league for a while. And I think it's important for the owners to know about the longevity that you plan on having in the league. So before we close, if you can just end with that, how long is your tenure here? How do you make them feel that you guys are going to be in it for the long haul and not just disappear when things may not go your way?
I can start just because I'm the noob of the duo here. For me, my tenure, I'd like to think my player itself, Axel Raven, outside linebacker, I've been looking up to Slin Shady. He's said, I think he had his 6th Pro Bowl. I want to be able to match that. And so my player hopefully will be able to play as long as he needs to for that. And I'm going to be around as an owner if we get this right, as long as that, if not, and ideally longer. I want to be able to retire my player and continue this franchise. And, not to say that if someone comes in and I need to step away as my player and early retirement, that's if we need to do something like that, I'm not against that either. I'm not too proud to let him sit on the sidelines to retire him for a little bit or indefinitely or whatever. But my plan is not to go anywhere. So
you better check my resume, man. I've been here how long? Yeah, I'm in it for the long haul, man. This is a saving grace for me, so I'm not going anywhere. If I can help it, this ownership is just the next step in my career in the SFL, and that we're hitting it for the long haul. And to echo what Axel said, there will be a day where it comes to where I'll retire my player and put my Hall of Fame jacket on at some point. Cam, but I'll put my Hall of Fame jacket on at some point and let it ride on to the next level, man, and retire my player. That's something I don't have a problem with. Stepping aside and letting the next guy come in, and at least for my team, I'm the owner. I own the team. I mean, I think we've all had dreams of owning a franchise of some sort, and owners don't play anymore at that point. So it's like, well, that opinion differentiates across the league with owners and owner players, and we can talk about that all night. But it's not a problem. It's not a problem for me in the long run.
And BJ Loveless comes back as the kicker or punter. Season 23.
I'll be a fullback before I'm a punter.
Okay. But gentlemen, good stuff. It was a pleasure, y'all taking this time out to spend with me, getting to know kind of the reasoning as to why you decided to come out for a team. And #believe, always watching. I wish y'all the best of luck. And before I let you go and give y'all the last word, so that can be a song, that can be a poem, or just a simple shout out. But right now, Axel, the floor is yours.
I don't have a song or a poem, just we're ready to be a legend. That's really what it is. We're ready to be a legend.
All right. And BJ?
I'm going to give my shout outs, man. I've been here a long time, and I've come across multiples of people. Damon Simeon, Ryan Krapinski, Kentez Johnson, Eddie Gage, Ashley Jackson, who else? DJ Moses, Eric Barkley, Chris Comasack, Andre Krim, Hubba Kimbrell, all the people, wonderful people I've had numerous hours of collaborating with and having fun with across this league, and the 4+ years I've been here and enjoying my time. It's been wonderful, man, and I wouldn't trade it for the world. But and shout out to Cam for making it possible. Can't nothing shake without Cam, man, and it's amazing, bro. And hopefully we can make this dream a reality, man, and so y'all can come visit us in the snow, because it's gonna be a lot of snow.
Outdoor
stadium.
Of
snow games.
Yeah.
Outdoor stadium. No domes out here, baby.
Keeping it true to Soldier Field, huh?
Yeah. Ain't no domes out here, baby.
Craziness. But good luck, y'all. Seriously. And
we appreciate it.
Wish you the best. You're welcome. Anytime. But I'll see y'all on the field. We got to finish up this season, then look and see what the SFLM is going to bring, Axel.
Yep.
Yeah. Exactly. All right. I'll talk to you soon.
Always watching, baby.
Always. All right, everybody. And I am back with expansion bid hopefuls. Now, this gentleman, I believe everyone should definitely recognize. He is Mr. Chad Roland, and he is looking to enter the expansion arena with his team, the Indianapolis Ramblers. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good on this morning, AJ. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good, man. It was early. I'm sorry. Look, I'm up, guys. Let's wait. Tell them we was gonna be doing this around 8. I didn't get up until 9, so.
Actually, we're supposed to do it at 9, and you woke up at 9. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we're supposed to do it at 9. Just trying to put it out there for everybody.
Oh man, but other than that, I'm doing pretty good, man. How have you been? It's been a minute.
Not too bad, getting late into the season here, obviously with London trying to make a push for the playoffs. Been working on that, been working on this stuff here for Indianapolis on the side and just staying busy.
All right. Sounds good. So, Chad, you have been in the league for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Tell everyone a little bit about you as far as your tenure in the league and what you have done in the league.
Yeah, so I joined in this league, let me think, the first week of season 13. I found this through YouTube. I don't remember exactly what I was doing, but I found a broadcast of an SFL game. I believe it was Baltimore versus Las Vegas. And I was just hooked instantly, right? Because I've always done the simulation stuff on my own on the side, but never really anything like where I've seen like other people do it. So joined in the Discord and really just got to, reach out to some people and talk and just try to get to know exactly how this community worked. And one of the first people to reach out to me was TJ, the owner of Baltimore, and, started having great conversations. Eventually was offered a position as a non-contract defensive end. And I believe I played my first game in week 8 against Sioux Falls. And was in that locker room until they went into the playoffs. And, when the first game, I think we beat Atlanta in the playoffs that first season. And after that, I was actually offered the GM position for Baltimore. And I think the guy's name was Mr. Clinton, I think was his name. That was the GM before that. And was able to sign my first, sign up as a GM before I even signed my first SFL contract. And help build the roster between season 14 and part of season 15. Bringing in, Mac Chima was my first draft pick, and other guys like Ben Stackenpaper and Nolan Pierce, who's no longer in the league, but, some other great guys that we were able to bring in. Ivory Irvin was a free agent signing. Troy Loshaw was a free agent signing. Really built that team to where you see what the results are, right? I mean, they've won 2 championships. I mean, they just lost their first game last night. Season 15, I had some personal things that popped up. And so I had to take a step back, left the league, which sucked because I left a championship team and they won a championship. I came back in later on that season and, was looking for a different opportunity to where I can really get in and build something, right? To start from the bottom, work my way up. And London was that place, right? Tanner Hendricks and I were really close in my first stint in the SFL. And, he was, the main reason, getting me to London. And we took a team that won 7 games in 3 seasons in their first season to be a 5-win team. I took over as head coach 6 days before the first game happened in season 16. So I've been learning that, and I've been coaching ever since, learning that as we go. Last season, or season 17, bringing in guys like Johnny Pickler and Butch Minner and Anthony Wyo and all these players that we brought in and turned it around and made London's first ever playoff appearance last season. And then totally got smoked out by your Arizona Scorpions. And then, here we are, season 18, to where, we're 5-5, and we're looking to win the next 2 games and try and get into the playoffs and try to get that first playoff victory.
It's a lot.
It's a lot. And then on top of that, there was a season where I was the Lexington Miners head coach.
So plenty of experience in that regard. Huh?
Yeah, a little bit of experience. A little bit.
So, what was the inspiration behind your team design and your team name, and even where you decided to have your team?
Yeah, so Adam Wiseman and myself, Adam is the current head coach of the Denver Nightwings. We both live in Indianapolis. Adam and I both really love our city, and they had an SFL team here back a few seasons ago. Then I think they believe that's now the Charleston Predators. And so, we wanted to bring a team back to our city, and the Ramblers team was inspired basically by the old Rambler engine that was in the Indy cars back in the 60s. It was supposed to be the next generation of engines, and and they used them during the 60s, like I said. And the color scheme, black, white, red, brick red, and gray. Black and white obviously paying respect to the Indianapolis 500, which is the greatest spectacle in racing. If you ever been in Indianapolis in May, it's pretty wild. I mean, ask Wiseman. I mean, he lives like a mile from the track, so he knows. The brick red, is on the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. The finish line is actually a yard of bricks. So when in the Indianapolis 500, when the winner goes in, you always see some, they drink the milk, obviously, in the winner's circle, but they kiss the bricks, is what they say. So the winner always gets to do that. And then the gray is paying respect to the USS Indianapolis. Obviously with, that being a big part of that. And Adam had relation, he had a relative that served on the USS Indianapolis, if I remember correctly. So a lot of different things that go together to really make this team what it is, color scheme wise and logo wise as well.
I like it. I like when everything means something. So ultimately, Chad, why do you think the owners should grant you a team?
That's a good question. I mean, for myself, I think that, with the group that we put together, me and myself and Adam, we've done everything that we can do to check all the boxes, right? We've been good community members. We've done the front office side, we've done the coaching side. Everything that owners look for in somebody, we have. And not only that too, but the path that we want to take this team, the path that we want to take this organization, on the field and off the field. We want to put a championship contender on both sides, right? I came from an organization in Baltimore where they've done that, right? They're a championship team on the field and off the field. They do a lot of stuff for the league, and that's what we want to do as well. We want to be similar to that, to where, when people in Indianapolis, they say, well, that's a really respected organization, and that's the ultimate goal. And I think with me and Adam together, I think that we are two people that can definitely 100% do that.
Okay, gotcha. Now, can the owners trust that you and Adam will take your responsibilities seriously, and that you won't just leave anybody hanging high and dry, like just be MIA, not showing up, like sometimes some unfortunate, owners have been known to do in the past?
Yeah, no, that's not going to happen. Me and Adam have both been here since season 13, and our goal has always been to be owners. And this is something that I've worked hard for the past, however many years I've been in this league, and doing what I needed to do, learning the stuff on the coaching side, learning the stuff as a GM and stuff like that, to really, this is the dream, right? To be able to run an organization, start from the ground up, build a brand, do all this stuff. It's a goal of mine. So for me to sit there and say, oh yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and leave after a year or two, I mean, that's just silly, right? I mean, all this work,
yeah.
So no, there's no shot. I mean, they would have to Cam would have to get me in a body bag to get me out of here by now.
Okay.
So, and I'm sure that he'll just really appreciate that, because I'm probably sure a time or two he's wanted me in a body bag.
No.
But yeah, like there's no way this is going to happen. We're really excited about the opportunity. We want to be able to join this fantastic ownership group that's here, and continue and help build it to be what we think this league is going to be, which is, the best simulation league out there.
Indeed, that bird is very loud, and he decided to sit right here in the tree, right next to me, and just start singing. It's okay.
He's singing the praises of the Ramblers. Clearly, he's.
So, Chad, what is your team philosophy?
Our team philosophy is we really want to be a team that, like I said, respect, championship contenders on and off the field. We want to be upstanding community members. We're still working on that part of it, at least with the philosophy stuff. But we really just, offensively and defensively, we want to be on the field. We want to be tough. We want to be tenacious. We want to be a team that people will fear each and every week when they try to game plan. Off the field, we want this to be a teachable area, right? We want this to be a place where, we want to be able to bring in coaches, scouts, directors, social medias, anybody that wants to come in here and learn, right? Because the league has done so much for us as far as like being able to teach me and Adam as well about our craft and what we're able to do. We want to be able to give back, right? This is owning this team and bringing in people like that to teach. That's our way of saying thank you to the community and to the league, for us to be able to come in here and, and do that. So the philosophy is, we want this to be home, right? When you come in, I mean, you obviously already have a cubby to put your stuff in and just feel right at home, right? Like as if you're home.
All right. Got it. So as far as your coaching staff and front office staff, do you have a plan for whom you will, if your bid is accepted, do you have a plan of whom you want to slide into those roles, or is that still kind of work in progress, or are you going to be the coach of the team? Or?
So right now, the way the things are going to be structured out is in the first year, Adam and myself will be probably doing the coaching, running, Adam be on the defensive side, myself be the offensive side. The way we're going to split the duties is, obviously I will handle probably the front office stuff. So GM, assistant GM, director of social media, anybody that's going to have an official front office role being involved in football operations. And then Adam from there will be handling the coaching side of things, dealing with the coordinators, dealing with the scouts, dealing with other people like that. And then, like I said, the first season, we really want to just, make sure we get the foundation set. And we have some guys that I'm looking at, and he's looking at, that I think that we can really bring in and do a fantastic job and help build this brand, right? Because, the appeal is obviously being, something with the ground up, right? Being able to take nothing and build it into something fantastic. And we've got our eyes on a few guys. And, we're really looking forward to, if we're able to get those players and get those people to really bring them in and like I said, start that world-class organization, get that thing up and running as quick as possible.
Okay, good stuff. So what do you foresee the biggest challenge of becoming an owner may be? And that could be from any aspect of real life, maybe having time for it, or things of that nature. What do you foresee being the biggest obstacle?
Well, first will be to actually get it, right? I mean, because there are other great bids that I have seen come through, right? I mean, obviously the Minnesota Legend with BJ and Axel, that's a really good ownership group. Seeing Tom Pepper and Ashley Rose Finch in Calgary, that's a pretty strong group as well, given their experience in the league. And then Ethan Kye, I mean, he's going for, I think this is his third time or second time going for expansion. I mean, he's got a little bit more coaching experience now being in the SFLM. So, and then there's probably going to be other ones that come out of the woodwork, and going up against all these guys is going to be tough, and that's why I'm trying to go, I'm humble as possible about this because I don't know, right? I'm not 100% sure if I'll get a team or not. And, and there's some tough competition. So that's one thing, the time thing is no big deal. I know going into this that, it's going to be time consuming, but I want that challenge, right? I love that challenge, being able to be challenged and be told that like, hey, you're going to have to put a lot of time into this, but look at the rewards you're going to get down the road. And that's what I'm really looking forward to.
All right. Okay. Good deal. It's funny because everyone that I've talked to has given me a reason as to why that they should have that they should receive one. And I keep telling everybody this is going to be a very difficult decision for the owners to make because there are so many good bids. There are so many things to consider when asking for a vote. That's so important. And it's just interesting to hear the different reasons as to why people want a team. And I think as long as we all keep in mind that the main goal is overall to make the league better. So any way you can add value, any way that you can add that team presence just to make them, to uplift and elevate the league, it's good stuff, you know?
Yep. Yeah, 100%. I mean, that's the ultimate goal, is to be able to, you know, if the owners feel that, you know, me and Adam are a group that can elevate this league to a higher level, then that's all good, right? If they come back and say, well, look, we just don't think you can do it, then I respect that decision, you know? And like I said, it's going to be a tough go because there are a lot of great bids, a lot of great people that have put their time in just as much as I've put my time in. You know, and there's some that'll probably be newer people trying to put bids in, and that's fine. You know, they got to start somewhere. But this decision to, you know, because this is the biggest expansion the league has done, I think, you know, going to 4 teams. So these owners have got a lot of heavy decisions to make, and you know, and just so that they all know, I mean, I'm here to answer any questions that they have. You know, obviously I've already DM'd every single one of them anyway. But you know, I'll continue to DM all these people as well, just to make sure that they know that I'm open and available, and Adam is open and available as well to talk about the Rambler bit.
All right. Hold on one second.
Okay.
So Chad, why did you select Adam to be your partner in this?
It's a great question. You know, Adam is somebody that I have always respected in this league, and you know, being able to be an SFL head coach and you know, take that Birmingham team, you know, to new heights, and you know, and taking over a team in Denver, and working and learning under an owner like Jeremy Vega. I mean, he was just a natural person, you know. My thing was, if I ever wanted to co-own a team in Indianapolis, I would want it to be somebody that's from Indianapolis and knows all about the rich tradition and the history of Indianapolis. So having Adam was like the perfect guy. I mean, he was the one and only choice. There was never anybody else in consideration for it. And, you know, and you know, we work well together as well, you know, and it's crazy because we live 20 minutes away from each other, but it took a trip to Houston to actually meet in person. So, which is why I like the convention. You know, it's pretty neat to be able to do that. But we had a great conversation down there about the possibility of teaming up then, and kind of really finalized it right then and there. And then, you know, we've been working really hard, you know, during times between him game planning for Denver and myself game planning for London, and you know, and then when we actually played against each other earlier this season, you know, he was at my house and we kind of finalized a lot of stuff there as well. So it's great to have some, you know, doing this by yourself is no fun. I mean, you know, a lot of owners, I mean, some owners can do it just fine, but there's other owners that, you know, wish they had somebody else. I'm just glad I was able to find somebody that I can work with really well, like Adam.
Fantastic. So what do you think will make the Ramblers an attractive team to go to from the player standpoint?
Yeah, I mean, from the player standpoint, I mean, obviously, you know, I guess I could brag for a minute. You know, with the offense, you know, just speaking from the offensive side of the ball, I mean, you know, look what we were able to do with the passing attack in London. You know, obviously, a lot of people talked about Johnny Pickler's build and then how Johnny was just a handoff quarterback, and you know, and now he's, you know, throwing over.
Hold on, wait, whoa. Who said he was a handoff? Where?
Well, when he was in Louisiana, you know, he was because you had Reggie Streeter in the back.
Oh, okay.
The way they were built, but And so bringing him over here, he really kind of opened up the passing attack for us, having guys like Vin Calia, Mike St. Green, Fox Highwind, Saren Storm from one season ago, Tiberius Bovine this season, Benji Matson. I mean, we've got so many weapons around, and you can see how that offense flows. Yeah, I mentioned MSG. Seeing how that offense flows and everything, and I wish we could get a little bit of the run game going, obviously, and that's going to be, I think, different in Indianapolis. The offense will be just a little touch different, but I'm really looking forward to be able to build that. And then Adam, obviously, with what he's done defensively in Denver. I mean, Denver is one of those teams that you just never really want to face defensively. They got so many great players, but then also the schemes that he runs and everything. I mean, people have already reached out to me because of the fact that they know that Adam is coaching that defense, and they're like, well, I want to be able to be in that defensive scheme. And I've had people reach out to me and saying, oh, I want to be in an offense that's like yours in London, So, some people have, offenses that they may not be scheming for that certain player. And, I think Indianapolis is a place that, if you want to see yourself grow and really become, an all-star type of player down the road, I think me and Adam are two people that can do that.
Okay. Sounds good. Now, is there anything else that you'd want to say to everybody before I let you go? Because I do know that you're at work and everything, and I don't want to keep you
well, I got nothing going on.
Okay. It does seem rather chill right now.
It's rather chill, right? It's dark in here. I don't have the light on. I never leave my light on here because they got these LED bulbs and they're bright. Like, no, I mean, for the league, I mean, we'll talk London for 2 seconds here, but if we, we're looking for a playoff spot, we're hungry, we're ready to go. Queen City is going to have, something to fear this weekend. We're looking forward to that game, a division rival. And it's going to be nice to be on the Crow's Nest this week with Krim and them.
Yeah.
So I'll be able to talk to them about the game and stuff. But for the expansion bid, I'm just very fortunate to be able to have this opportunity. I thought about putting back in when San Diego got their team, but I felt like I wasn't ready yet. I felt like I didn't have the experience to be, because when I put in for it, I want to be like, oh yeah, that's a no-brainer. And I feel like with the resume that myself and Adam had together, I think that we're a really strong bid. And, and we want to thank the league for this opportunity, because without, all these players jumping in and without what Cam's doing, we wouldn't be going to 28 teams right now. And so, we want to thank them for that, thanks the league for that opportunity. And, for the owners, I wish you luck in the decision. It's going to be tough, obviously. It's not going to be an easy decision with the bids that are coming in. But if any owner has any questions about, what Indianapolis is going to mean and what we're going to do, reach out to myself and Adam, and we'll be happy to answer any questions you guys have.
All right. Well, I'll give you my little 2 cents. I know that you have been around for a long time, as far as not just, saying a few things in chat, but you've been an active member of the community for a long time. Mm-hmm. Every time I talk to people, and when they mention you, from T-Roy, people that have been on the teams with you in the past, and people you work with, I've been with you in other leagues, where you've been my coach and things like that. And what you do bring is that seriousness, that your dedication. Mm-hmm. You make sure that the team is happy. I mean, from my experience being, you make sure that whatever needs to be done gets done, whether you have to do it or not. And I think it's very important to be a hands-on owner, from my perspective, because if I don't see you, if I don't see you in the locker room, if I don't see you doing something active in the community, the thing that got you in this job to begin with, if you stop doing that, or if I don't see you, I just don't think that you're taking it as seriously as some others. And my last question to you is, how hands-on will you be as an owner? You and Adam.
I mean, me and Adam, we really want to be, if we're leading an army, we want to be in the front, right? Obviously. with what we want to do. Obviously, as I said, we're going to start doing the coaching stuff because we want to, groom our staff. When we do hire the staff, we want to groom them to, Rambler football. And then obviously with that, they can, once they get acclimated and they want to put their scheme in, that's fine, and we'll be happy with those decisions when those coaches make them. But, even, as an owner and stuff, we're going to be right there in the front, right? Obviously, cheering our team on, making sure the culture in the locker room is really the key thing, because that's something that, I've done in London. I think I've done a really good job with turning that culture around. And that goes in thanks to the guys that are in that locker room, right? And really, taking in what I'm trying to instill and they've done a fantastic job with it. And, it's going to be nice to see what London does after this season. But, for 100% for sure, me and Adam have already discussed this and stuff. And we both know that, hey, we're not just going to sit in the weeds and let people run this thing. Like, we're going to be right there in the front. We're not going to micromanage, obviously, but we want to be right there to guide people and to be there. Like I said earlier, it's a teachable place, right? We want to be able to bring people in and let them learn how we've learned, right? Let them learn the craft of bringing in free agents like I have. Let them learn the defensive side of the coaching stuff like Adam has with Vega and all that. Tap into the secrets of Vega, maybe, who knows? But I don't know if anybody can ever tap into those secrets. But, we're right. Yeah, we're really looking forward to what we can do. And like I said, 100%, we're not going to be just silent owners at the back, just chilling. We want to be up there in the front, getting our hands dirty and, making this team what we think it's going to be, which is a championship team on and off the field.
Okay. I know I said one question, but I do have one more.
I know. You're good.
I always do this to you. The business side of being an owner, how well-versed do you think that you and Adam will be in handling such a thing?
Yeah, I think we'll be very well-versed. Obviously, we know people that maybe not in the esports world, but, people that have businesses and stuff like that. And, we bounced advice off of them already as is. Like, for example, I've been working on the team store for a while, getting that ready for launch. I already kind of displayed a little bit of stuff in a photo in Gen Chat not long ago. And, we want this to be a place where, business wise, we want to be, one of the better ones in the league, right? I think every team in the league does a fantastic job of what they're doing with it, but, we want to be right up there. And obviously, I'm sure that Cam and them guys would steer us in the right path as well. And so, we'll look forward to that advice when that time comes, if that time comes, if we get the team. And, we're, business side, I think we'll be okay. We'll be fine.
All right. Sounds good. Well, that was all the questions that I have for you, Chad.
Nice.
And I really appreciate you taking the time out to come and hang out with me this morning. It was,
Yeah, no problem. I'm really looking forward to it. If Indianapolis gets the expansion team, I'm sure that I can, make number 9 look really nice in a Rambler uniform if you want. But
I have 22 people.
Eddie's going to watch this and DM me as soon as
instantly.
He's going to be like, no, stop.
Oh my God. Well, yeah. Good luck with that one.
Good luck with that one.
Good luck with that one. But yeah, I really appreciate your time, and I wish you the best of luck. And if I may say, and I hope I don't get in trouble for this or make people feel any kind of way, but I really do think that you're going to be one of the ones that get one of the 4 teams, just because how much you've done and the impact. Everybody says make an impact. Cam's thing is make an impact, and you definitely have
that
since you've been here. Right. And you've been here, you've been doing that since you've been here. So if I had to guess, I think that they're basically looking for 3 other teams. But that's okay.
I appreciate that. And other people have reached out and then expressed, hey, I think you will get it. I don't think there's any problems. But like I said, I'm going into this humble because there's a lot of great bids and there's a lot of great people that are going in for this. So
you don't want to get your feelings hurt.
Yeah, I'm just looking forward to the process.
Yeah. Well, good luck, man. And do you have any final words for everybody? That could be a song, that can be a poem, or a simple shout out. For right now, the floor is yours, Chad.
God, you know, it didn't even hit me until last night. I actually wanted to like write a poem about like but I just got totally distracted last night. I had a fantasy baseball draft, and so I totally spaced it. But yeah, I mean, you know, I'm looking forward to this weekend. You know, going up against Queen City. We got two tough teams, right? That we got to face in London. I still got unfinished business to do this season, and you know, Queen City's always a tough team. You know, we didn't play them well when I first coached against them, and then DC just literally beat the top team last night. So I've got my work cut out for me for the rest of this regular season. But you know, go Knights! You know, we're looking forward to that, and hopefully we can sneak into the playoffs and make some noise.
All right, then. Good luck out there.
All right, thank you.
All right, see you soon.